Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy AJ. I'm here with Cypher. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Twitter. All our Twitters are scrolling at the bottom, and on Instagram at Nets Kingdom One. So we got the breaking news today. Cam Thomas is out for the remainder of the season with a hamstring strain. We're going to dive deep into that first. And the Nets just lost to the Celtics 115-113. So let's first talk about this Celtics game for a quick 2 minutes before we get into the Cam Thomas breaking news that he's out. So the Celtics just beat us 115-113. Porzingis had 24 points. He was dominating in the paint. The Nets actually did good we shot better than the Celtics, 43% from three. And then the Celtics shot 34%. We out rebounded the Celtics 45-38. Dayron was insane rebounding wise. We had 18 offensive rebounds to the Celtics 13. Um, Beginning of this game, bro, it just my feeling was just first of all, Maxwell Lewis. It was great to see. Finally, we got the Maxwell Lewis minutes that we've all been wanting, and it was good to see him start to cook. He was cooking the Celtics early. Um, and then in the first half, I just felt like the offense wasn't really clicking. But in the last second quarter, Keon, Chuck Johnson, as I call him, was just doing what he does, getting steals, going to the rim and hitting shots. So talk about that first half real quick, bro. And what's your thoughts on the Celtics game?
I mean, they played really hard. They
Hmm.
they definitely shocked the Celtics. They weren't ready for this.
Yeah.
You just look at the starting lineup. I mean, this is the story of the year. The Nets are going to try hard from tip off, and the Celtics are going to kind of walk into this not
Mhm.
really giving it their best.
Yeah.
Celtics, they're the second best team in the East. It's March. We're a month away from the playoffs, so they're just dragging their feet to the end. And
Yeah.
look, they're such a good, talented team. They could do that and still win.
Yeah. We were down by 21, and I think we were down by 18. So we went down a big, pretty big early on, and in the second half we were down. But then, like I said, the Nets just and Jalen Brown went out. I feel like Tatum was awful tonight. Tatum just wasn't it for me tonight. I think he was 1 for 8. I'm looking at the stats. 1 for 7 from three. He had it was 20 points. He just had bad turnovers down the stretch. It just didn't look good for Tatum for me. I mean, we did play decent defense like Jordy always does. He schemes and traps and double teams the best player. Because I think when Jalen Brown went out, when Jalen Brown was in, Jordy was like, "No, I can't double team because this is the Celtics. Everybody can shoot threes." So he was kind of hesitant on the doubles. But then when Jalen Brown went out, then he's like, "Okay, I can go all in on Tatum and see what the rest of these guys can do." But Pritchard started hitting a bunch of threes, and it was just uh, a walk down chase from the Nets trying hard, and in that fourth quarter,
I mean, even
yeah,
even if you double Tatum, and the credit to
mhm,
Tatum, not his
mhm,
most efficient scoring night,
yeah,
8 or 19 shooting, but
yeah,
he had 8 assists,
yeah,
and
he
that's the
did,
benefit of Jason Tatum and his versatility. That's why they call him the anomaly.
yeah,
6'8", he could handle like a guard. If you double team him, he'll find his teammates. He'll find Porzingis in the short roll. He'll find Pritchard. He'll find corner shooters, and if he doesn't specifically, he'll find the open man. They'll move the ball and they'll generate a good look.
yeah, yeah. So my last recap of this game, like I said, Cam Johnson was good, 23 points, 10 rebounds. He shot 2 for 8 from three, not the best, but Maxwell Lewis. Just real quick before we end this topic, bro, what is your thoughts on Maxwell? He had 15, 2 rebounds. He shot 3 for 3 from three, 6 for 7 from the field. What is your take on Maxwell Lewis? He has a team option, I think, next year for 100 racks, 100 grand or something like that. I think it was. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Max?
I think it's like closer to the million range, but
It's a million?
I
Okay,
think
it's a million. Okay.
so. I'm not sure. I mean,
It might be a million. You're right. I might be
yeah.
wrong with that. I saw somebody put out 100K, but I'm like, I think it's a million. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, with Maxwell Lewis, I mean, look, bigger wing,
Mhm.
very athletic, tons of upside. I mean, with him, I mean, good game. Look, 15 points, 6 or 7 shooting. I think he
Yeah.
had 10 in the quarter. No, his career
Yeah.
high, which was tonight, was his career high in scoring,
Yeah.
which tells you how bad a player Maxwell Lewis was before. This is his career high, 15 points.
Yeah.
Just a good night. Just hit his shots. Had a really nice dunk off the catch. I don't think. Let's see him do it for the rest of the season, and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
I don't see any long term, like, he's a future rotation player or anything like that, but, he has all the physical athletic tools to be a very good basketball player. Let's see if he could just use them.
Yeah. I was very high on him coming from the Lakers because I watched him get drafted. I was very in tune with that draft, and I was high on him, but when he got to the Lakers, he didn't really get a lot of burn, like, he didn't play. He played very, very small minutes, and I think he's what is he, a sophomore now? Um, but it's like he didn't get the burn, and then he got traded, and then he got as soon as he got to the Nets, he hit a 3 and tore something. It was like immediate. He hit a 3, tore something, and I'm like, "Oh,
His,
damn."
tibia, I think he broke his tibia or something.
Yeah, his tibia, and then now he comes back and he just first the first real minutes he gets against the Celtics, he was really good. So, like you said, I just want to see what happens. Yeah, I hope they play him a lot more. I feel like Joy should have been giving him minutes early on. Like he should have been getting minutes, but now that CT is out, we'll see if he gets a bunch of minutes. So,
I know out
yeah.
of college, because I remember him specifically during the whole draft,
Mhm.
he went to the same college as, Kessler Edwards, Pepperdine.
Yes, yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and so I had him target. I remember his stats, like, he put up really good numbers on Pepperdine.
Bro, he was great. I'm telling you, man. I was very high on him. Like I was like, we should have got him because he was there for us, but I think he went a little bit later than 18, 16. I forgot to look. I gotta look it up. But regardless, shout out to Maxwell Lewis. He's a good pickup. It was a good pickup for us, I think, in that trade. We'll see what they do with him going forward. So we got the breaking news. Cam Thomas, hamstring strain, man. I was very shocked. I was kind of like, why? Well, all right. So we did the spaces. If you go on Twitter, follow us on Twitter. We do net spaces from time to time. And I did remember, shout out to Solis. He was saying, yo, I think Cam might have tweaked his hammy on that last play. But then I wasn't really sure. Like, I wasn't like, I just kind of blew it over. Like, yeah, he was all right. He just walked off. Da, 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 da. Then we get the news he's out for the rest of the year. And I saw the replay, and I'll show you guys the replay in the video. I saw the replay, and I'm like, oh, he might have really tweaked it. Now there's a lot of conspiracy on this Twitter. Some people are saying, "Yo, the Nets told him to do that." The Nets are
No,
just shutting him down. It's not that serious. It's not real. There's some people who are concerned. They're saying Cam Thomas should cut weight. He has a hamstring problem. I'm concerned. Where do you land on this hamstring issue that he's getting shut down now with, I guess, what 17 games left? Where do you land on the Nets Twitter side of things, bro?
okay, I
Yeah,
mean, and first off, I hate the whole going into the cause of the injury.
yeah.
Okay, I don't think it's weight related. I do think
Okay.
Cam Thomas should lose weight because if you look at his, sophomore season
Mhm.
versus this year and how fast he looked that year versus this year, uh, he looked better. He looked faster when he was a little bit thinner.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was getting to the rim easier. He could move a little bit faster on defense. He had, more dunks in his, I
yeah,
believe, second year than he did last year and this year combined.
yeah.
So
He
there
just
that
yeah, he got a little bulkier. You could tell he got a little bulkier.
yeah.
Like this season, it was you could tell he got bulkier. Yeah,
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 like, he put on more muscle, some
mhm,
fat, all that, but
yeah.
here's the thing, though, like, he didn't like, he's not Zion.
No, he's
Like,
not. Mhm.
he's not 40 pounds overweight, and that's why he re-aggravated his hamstring 3 times.
Yeah,
Like, no, there is correlation between higher weight and injury, but what happened here is and this is speculation, but
mhm.
I think the Nets just misdiagnosed him the first time
Okay,
because you don't mess up your hamstring, the same one 3 times in a span of 4 months.
4 months. Yeah,
4
yeah,
months?
yeah.
No, it was way worse. The first interview was just way worse than they thought.
Mhm.
He kept coming back, played on it, and then it kept getting hurt, so, I don't know, I view this as the medical staff, and look, maybe losing a little bit more weight would help him not get hurt as much. That's
Yeah,
definitely a possibility, but I don't think that's the main cause.
yeah. I think it's tough because like he just jumps like the thing with Cam Thomas, explosion is a very big part of his game. Like he has a great first step. He can get to the rim, and then he jumps so high. He contorts his body in the air. A lot of that is pressure on your hammies and your legs because he jumps so high. He gets contact even on his jump shot. Like just watch Cam Thomas shoot a jump shot. He jumps really high for his jumper. So it's like that pressure on your legs. If the hamstring's not all the way there, then you're gonna keep re-aggravating it. And we saw the same situation with Harden. And I remember I was talking to somebody on Twitter about this, like why I'm concerned. I wouldn't say I'm 100% concerned, but I'm slightly concerned because I'm just like the great thing about this is Cam is 23 years old, right? Harden was what 32 when this happened to him, and Harden had a great career before that of just 72 games every year, at least 72 to 82 games. Harden was playing that every single year in the season. And then when he went down with that hammy, you just saw the struggle he went through for it was about he's back now, but it was about 2, 3 years before he got back to where he is now. Like he's decent now. Before it was just so bad. And hammies are so tricky to diagnose. They're really tricky, but it's like if I'm the Nets, how do you like you said, how do you tweak it 3 times in the span of 3 to 4 months, right? Tweak it again and again and again, and it's like it's just something just doesn't feel right from me. But I, like I said, I'm not mad because we're supposed to tank. Cam Thomas makes us better, allegedly, and we'll get into that because some people say he doesn't make us better, and we didn't win a bunch of games with him here when he came back. But I'm okay with him being gone for the rest. I'm cool with shutting him down. Like if he really strained his hamstring, if it's for real, cool, shut him down, let him rest, and we'll negotiate in the offseason. But I want you to speak to the fact that would you say he makes us better or because there's an argument on Twitter, people saying, oh, he didn't even make us better when he came back. So he, you know what I'm saying? What do you say to people like that? They're saying that about CT.
Oh, dude, they're wrong. They're
Yeah.
wrong, and they just don't know basketball,
Yeah.
or they had an opinion on him,
Mhm.
and they're just not willing to change it no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just look he's a very good player,
Yeah.
and look the whole on off number stuff in the advanced stats. Well, first of all, the advanced stats are starting to say he's a good player.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you look at dunks and threes, he's at 70th in estimated plus minus,
Yeah.
which
Mhm.
is not bad at all. That's 85th percentile. And as for the on off numbers, I think he's a positive +1 now per
Yeah.
100 possessions. Now, granted, it is a small sample size because he's only played 25 games,
Yeah.
but according to the logic of net rating, they should be better without him, and they aren't.
They aren't. Yeah, they aren't. Like
Yeah.
I said, the scoring is one of the most coveted assets of traits in this league. So it's like you gotta just take that factor in that he's gonna give you, those buckets in the end. And with CT, the only thing I'm gonna miss is like the playmaking leap we started to see trending upwards. We saw the 10 assists last game. We saw him starting to make reads, so many reads. I was so impressed off the pick and roll, throwing alleys to Clax, transition passes. I'm like, okay, CT's finally getting into his, playmaking. We're seeing CT run the point guard a few, possessions, and I'm like, okay, this is good to see, like him developing because that's what we want to see. We want to see our guys, the kids we drafted, develop. Even though we're tanking, we still want to lose, but we want to see these guys develop. So,
Well, one of
yeah,
Cam Thomas's best skills that he
mhm,
doesn't use that much, which he was starting to use, is
mhm.
his ability to generate shots at the rim for other players.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
exactly.
if you're Claxton or if you're Zaire or Trendon Watford and you're getting to the rim
Mhm.
off the ball, like he'll find you.
Yeah,
Once he drives to the rim and collapses the defense, if you cut to the rim, he'll find you on that cut. He won't
yeah,
always find you out on the perimeter, which is an issue. Like the downhill creation needs work,
yeah,
but that passing skill is there, and you saw it with the 10 assist game against the Bulls. And regarding Cam Thomas's passing, because people said he'll never get better as a passer, well, that's just statistically not true.
yeah,
If you look at the assists per game, when adjusted for his minutes per 36, they've gone up every single season.
yeah, yeah.
Every
Because
single season. Like 2.4 his rookie year, 3 his second year, 3.3 his third year, and then 4.3 this year.
Yeah, because the stigma is well, like people across the NBA think, oh, he's a shot chucker, he's a scoring guy, he only can score, get buckets, he ball hogs. That's like the stigma that Cam Thomas gets when people watch the Nets or think Cam Thomas and you're not a Nets fan. That's what people think he is, like only is, but he's a lot more than that. he's starting to develop his other, skills to his game, like, you know what I'm saying? So it was nice to see. But now that he's out for the season, it's
And
sad,
it's a real shame that
Yeah.
he was the one who got hurt out of all the players because he was the one that had the most to prove.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because he's in this contract year. I know Daron's in his contract year, but I think Daron already solidified his money. So I think it's CT is just like he's just been so injured. It's hard to really put. And we're gonna get into this our last topic about Cam Thomas's contract. It's gonna be hard to figure out what CT's value is in the trade in the market right now. But yeah, prayers up to CT. I just want to say like I really, really, really feel bad about his hamstring. It sucks, it sucks because he was starting to really get back in his groove. You guys know how much I love CT. I still got CT as the lock screen, you know what I'm saying? Still got CT as a lock screen. This won't change until we draft Dylan Harper or Cooper or Ace. Then I'm changing it to that. Sorry, CT, but that's what I'm changing it. That's what I'm changing my lock screen after that. But yeah, so Cam Thomas's value. Let's start about this because it's going to be a big conversation probably really quickly here when the season ends. He goes into restricted free agency. Brian Lewis tweeted out that since he didn't meet the starting criteria for a qualifying offer, it was from 8, I think it was 8.5, and now it's 5.2. So let me break it down to you guys like this. Basically, Cam Thomas has two decisions, right? He could, let's say the Nets offer him, I'm Sean Marks, and I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna offer you a contract, you know, let's do it like that. You'll take it or leave it, right? He can do that. Take what the Nets give him. Or he could take a qualifying offer. He could say, "No, I don't want what you want, Sean." Take a qualifying offer. He'll get that 5 mil for 1 year, and then he'll be an unrestricted free agent and walk in 2026. That's his second option. And I think the third would be if a team offered him an offer sheet, he could accept, but the Nets couldn't match that. If the Nets don't want to match that, then he goes to that team. I think that's how it works. If the Nets don't want to match the offer sheet, that let's say the Hornets offer him something,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, the Hornets
And
offer him a
don't match,
contract.
he
Yeah,
goes to the other team.
they don't match, he goes to the other team. So there's three situations that CT could have in the offseason, right? Where do you think Cam Thomas's value is as it stands right now? If you lead, averaging 24 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, where do you think his value is in the NBA right now? How much do you think he's going to get paid, bro?
It's the short answer is I don't know. Like, he was already a controversial player,
Yeah,
like, before the injury, and now he got hurt. So
yeah,
it's already now it's gonna be, like, way worse, like, regarding his value as a player. I think he's worth if he had stayed healthy, like, throughout the season,
mhm.
I think he would've been worth
30.
mid-20s to, like, early 30s
Yeah,
per year. I
yeah,
think that would've been his value, but now because he's hurt and then none of the narratives, like, disappear on him. He did get better as a passer, and that's something his representation will use in negotiations.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
he'll get. I don't know. It's really tough because the Nets could be very ruthless in discussions and say because no other team has cap space.
yes, yes.
But at
This
the
is
same time,
yeah.
if they get very ruthless in discussions, they could just Cam Thomas could say that offer isn't worth it. I'll take my qualifying offer.
Exactly. Like me personally, before Cam Thomas went down, like he was looking like a 30 to me. He was looking like a 30 million a year to me. I think quickly, Emmanuel people compared him to Emmanuel quickly. He was just trending upwards to get that 30, 28, 27 to 30 a million a year. I think he was trending before the first hamstring and he went down. Before that, then when he went down, I was like, okay, I'm 25-ish. I'm at 25-ish. And then when the constant hamstrings, and you fast forward to now, I'm thinking like, I think the max Sean gives him would be 25. I saw somebody say 3 for 75 or 3 for 65. I'm thinking the Nets are gonna lowball him to try to they're gonna start low. I think they'll try to offer him a 3-year, $20 million a year, so 3 for 60. I think they'll try to offer him a 3 for 60, and he might say no to that, and then the Nets will probably raise it to at least I think their max would be 25. I don't think they go anywhere higher than 25.
I
And I
think if
yeah,
if it's 20 to 25 million and then it's
mhm,
like 2 to 3 years, I
yeah.
think Cam takes that.
Yeah,
I
I
think
can
he
see
takes
that.
that 100%.
Yeah, I think that's the general basis of where they're gonna go because the Nets are gonna try to go. And I love Cam, and I want him to get his bag. But from the team's perspective, if you can get Cam Thomas for 3 years on 20 million a year, that's a fucking steal, bro. That is a steal with the salary cap going up. With seeing how much these guys are getting paid, and then you get your true lottery picks if they're good. You have Cam Thomas on a contract for 3 years, cheap for this NBA market, and he's gonna be heading in towards his prime. That is a steal. But if the Nets are like, well, he's our guy, let's give him the bag, or let's be generous. I think the most generous offer would be 25. And I don't see another team offering Cam anything. I don't see another team offering because they don't have cap space. So Cam's kind of stuck in a wall. It's either
Well,
I
I'll
take my
say this.
Creole and bounce, or I take the money that Sean's gonna give me.
Well, hold on, I'll say this,
Mhm,
and this is where I'm not really an expert in with the historical precedent of the NBA.
mhm.
There have been seasons before where there hasn't been that much cap space floating around.
Yeah.
In those years, what exactly happened? Like, because I don't think players would ever be like, well, there's no cap space, but I do have a market. I'm going to take less. I don't think that historically has happened.
Yeah.
There might be a team might be willing to put off a sign and trade if they really believe in Cam Thomas. And now
That's fair.
that is highly unlikely because with Cam, like this injury is really concerning because 3 hamstring strains in a span of 4 months, like that is very,
Yeah.
very scary.
Yeah.
And look, I'm still very high on Cam Thomas. Like 3 years, 60 million, I'd give that to him. Like that's a very low risk, high reward salary.
Yeah.
If Cam Thomas is still projecting and then improving as a player,
Yeah.
so I would give him that 100%. But I don't know. It's just the injury. It is a very scary
Yeah.
injury.
Because you got to think about it from the NBA's point of view. Like, I don't think a team. Well, there are teams that desperately need scoring, and there are teams that want Cam Thomas. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's non-valuable on the market. There are teams that would want him, but it's just the value of him. I think the Nets would probably pay the most for him. You know what I'm saying? I think the other teams might lowball him even more than the Nets would. You know what I'm saying? I think teams are. I don't think somebody's going to come out of the woodworks and be like, Cam, 3 years, we're going to give you 30 million a year or 28 million a year. I don't know if teams are going
No,
to do
I don't
that.
think that offer is going to exist anymore with
Yeah.
the injury.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Because
one
they
thing I
look at
will
him
say,
just they just look at him as a scoring guy that doesn't have anything else. He's a scorer off they just look at him as a scoring option, a six-man type of kind of guy, you know?
yeah, the one thing I will say though is
Mhm,
in favor of Cam Thomas, who
mhm.
doesn't really have much leverage in these negotiations, is that there are teams that do covet him. There are
Yes, there
teams
are.
that wouldn't want him, that think he's just a bad player. But there are
Yeah.
teams that think like he's a ton like a superstar, future superstar. There's a chance that one thing that's preventing the Nets from going like really low on offers,
Mhm.
like the Nets aren't going to give him 2 years, 30 million. Because if
Yeah.
they do, then a team that's really high on him, I'm just going to make up a team. Let's just say the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah.
Like they could say, oh, they're lowballing him a lot. We could
Mm.
throw him 2 years, 40 million, and then really get like maybe a small bidding war going because the Nets don't covet him at all. Like
Yeah.
that's the only thing that's preventing the Nets from really going really low in the offers.
Really low. Yeah. Because I think the key for the Nets is to put years on that deal, at least 3 to 4 years on that deal. And they're gonna
They aren't going to do that
that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know if they're gonna do put 3 to 4 on that.
because
But
the one thing
mhm,
of all the teams that aren't sure about Cam Thomas,
mhm,
like that includes the Nets.
yeah.
Like they don't the whole time. Like they've been so unsure about Cam Thomas. Didn't play him as much as they should have. The coaches didn't really like him. Didn't extend him this offseason. They they aren't gonna give him a 4 year guaranteed deal. Like it's gonna be 2, maybe 3 years max.
Yeah, because they have to be really believing it, and like you saw what they did it to Clax. They gave Clax a 2-year deal, and then he was on the market, and they just ended up paying him. But it's like they did it to Clax, so they put him on. They give him that little 2-year, 2-year deal, and then you're done. A two and a done. So they might do the same thing to CT. They might do 2 and a player option or 2 and something else, 2 and a team option. They're gonna try to finesse. We know how the Nets do. They're gonna try to finesse, but we'll see what Cam Thomas takes in the offseason. So
If
yeah.
I'm the Nets and looking at the extension rules, I would give Cam Thomas. I would give him a 3-year deal with the team option in the third year,
Mhm.
and I would give him more money just to get that team option
Yeah. Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure the way the extension rules work, and correct
Mhm.
me if I'm wrong, is if you give a guy a 2-year deal, you can extend him. They're automatically going to go to free agency.
Yeah.
Whereas if you give them a 3-year deal, you could extend them before they hit free agency.
Yes, yes, because we couldn't extend. I remember that because when we gave
We couldn't
Clax that
extend
deal, we
Claxton.
couldn't extend Clax. I was
Yeah,
like, I remember I was asking, I was like, "Yo, why can't we extend Clax?" But we couldn't extend Clax because they gave him a 2-year deal. I was like, "Oh, that's why we can't extend him." We had to wait until he was an unrestricted free agent and he had to re-sign.
yeah.
You know, so
So if that's the case, then I would give him 3 years, 75 million, and then give him the team option for the third year.
yeah, that's been fair. Like I said, I'm willing to give Cam anything. My max is 25, but anything in between that, I'm fine with. My max is 25. And I'll take it for 3. I'll do 3 to 4 years. My max is 25. Like I said, I want CT to stay. He's one of my favorites, and I just hope we can help build around him. He's not the franchise star but he's a perfect piece for a championship. He's a connective piece. I'll say that. CT, I think, is a connective piece for a franchise to win chips in the future, in my opinion.
His people have said that he's just Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, which he's not. He's averaged more points than those guys have ever had
Yeah,
at a much younger age.
yeah,
With Cam Thomas, like his ceiling, like he's not Steph. Like that's not
no,
his ceiling at all.
no,
But he could be like a Kyrie. He could be
yeah,
a Jamal Murray. Like he could be that high level shot creating guard on that's a second option on a championship team. Like
yes,
that's a very, very reasonable opinion of Cam Thomas to have.
I believe that too. I think at Cam and his fully peak, fully prime, I think he could be an archetype of Jamal Murray, Kyrie, that type of secondary wing guy that can get you buckets when you need a bucket. Because you always need that guy in the end. You need a guy that can get you a bucket, a shot contesting, tough shot maker that can get you. Because the playoffs is all about shooting tough shots over guys too. Because you got to hit them tough shots over guys. Because you need a floor kind of guy like that. So I think CT could be that in his prime. And he's only 23, so he has so much more in his life to go. So yeah, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Nets Kingdom 1, and make sure you type in at netskingdom.net. Cypher dropping great articles on netskingdom.net. So you check out your latest there. Let us know in the comments. Let us know your comments. What do you guys think Cam Thomas contract? What would your contract offer be? Type in the comments your contract offer. If you're a fan of another team, would you want Cam Thomas? Do you think they should offer your team should offer Cam Thomas an offer sheet? And yeah, let us know in the comments. What do you guys think about CT's future? Do you think he's a franchise? Do you think he's a wing guy? What do you think about Cam Thomas? Let us know in the comments, and we'll be back. Appreciate you guys so much.